Good evening, everyone. Shane here from ComX. I'm just here chatting with some of the guys from the ComX calendar Kickstarter campaign that we have going at the moment. Here to just chat about the campaign itself and just chat in general. So, yeah, without any further ado, I'll just introduce the people who are here so far. We have, I just got to press the right button. Okay, we have Dave and Spedsy. Hey, guys.
Hey.
G'day, how are you going?
And we've just had Peter pop in, so I'll let Peter in as well. G'day, Peter.
Right. Hey, man.
G'day, mate. How you going?
How's everyone?
Very
good, bud.
Good, thank you.
Good to
Yourself?
hear.
I've got my broadcasting hat on.
Oh, yes, very nice.
Yeah.
I need one. Cover my solar panel.
I have to get one. My hair's crazy under this.
Yeah, same.
Oh, yeah. You Scott. You're a Scott, mate, saying you got hair under there.
The problem is, Dave, I've got a little bit of hair under there that goes a bit crazy, nutty professor look. So
Yeah.
The nutty professor, eh?
It's
Nice.
Are you getting? Is there a chance you're off to war, Pete? After this, you're all greens, army greens.
Yeah, yeah.
Just in case you call to the front lines.
He's ready to go.
Cool. Well, what I might do is just share the art that you guys have done.
Yep.
Just so everyone can have a look-see at your particular art. So I will just share my screen here. Just see what happens when I do that. So I'm a little new to this program, so I'm not sure what will happen when I do that. Oh, there we go. That's what happens. Cool. So
don't accidentally click on your porn folder because we'll be in trouble then.
yeah. I've hidden that one, so it's all good.
Yeah, well done.
So here's Dave's. Dave's is up first. So here's a look at what Dave illustrated for the calendar. Very nice piece.
You do all the colors as well, Dave?
Yeah, mate. Yeah. As I was saying on that interview we did the other night, I was looking for some inspiration, and I've always admired the way Frank Rosetta put his colours together, as well as his drawing and etc.
Yeah.
So I flicked through one of the books I've got of his there, and those colours. The scene I found was those colours, a jungle scene with a blue sky, and
nice.
Just worked out nicely.
Is this one of your characters, or is this just a cool drawing? Oh, it is.
That's Lee. She features in probably about 6 out of the 7 or 8 stories I've done of a Dropship 15.
Okay.
Which is a regular feature in my Amazing Tales series of that. Well, you probably can't see. There it is.
No,
there you go.
Awesome.
Yep.
That's her again on the front there.
Yeah.
Nice.
She's not the It's a funny thing. She wasn't supposed to be the main character, but she's sort of turning into that.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
Brendan Dan in D's Comics actually he said that Lee reminds him of his wife.
Right.
Interesting.
His wife is a Vietnamese lady, and lovely lady. I've met her. Pocket rocket and full energy, and she keeps Brendan under a close eye and in line as much as possible.
How cool is Brendan? Name a bigger supporter of indie comics. Maybe Shane could give him a run for his money. But
I'll give it a try.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, there's a few around, but Brendan's right up there with the top for sure.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Brendan's been a lot of support for me as well, actually. So yeah.
Yeah, has he? Yeah. Well, Well, I've done. I think there's probably about, as I said, 5, 6 or 7 stories with Dropship 15, which is what the series that she comes from. Lee, I'm talking about. And she, actually, the Dropship 15 is in every issue of Amazing Tales. It's sort of like the masthead type, or what do you call it? You know, like if you bought 2000 AD, there'd always be a Judge Dredd story in there.
So Amazing Tales is an anthology.
Yes.
Of all your stuff.
Yep. I've done all the drawing. There are a couple of stories. I think there might be one story that was written by another person, Darren Koziel. From Decay, Dark Oz Comics. He wrote one story, and we did it for the gorilla, the orangutan thing many years ago. May not remember. There was a raise money to save the orangutans. And that was another thing where you volunteer your efforts to for a worthy cause. And we do so many of them. Bushfire earlier this year, we all, a lot of us got stuck into that. And the orangutan was another one. But that's my mainstay is the Amazing Tales.
Nice. Do you draw stuff in Decay and retro sci-fi tales and stuff? Yes,
I've got a number of stories I might have done, or maybe over half a dozen.
Wow, awesome.
Matt Kime's done a lot. Of course, Ben Sullivan is he's the anchor man, I think, at the moment. But you have a look back through them, and you'll see I've done one or two over the years. Probably about, as I said, half a dozen or more.
Yeah, I've got a few books coming up with Ben Sullivan. Man, that boy is busy. Yeah, I've got 2 series of about 6 issues coming up with Ben drawing them. And then I've got an anthology myself called Vamoose, and he's going to join us as a regular starting issue 2. Just doing a 1-page story with Hayden Spurrell as the writer, and contributing a story to each issue. So he's drawing a torn Southern Squadron crossover that I wrote with Dave DeFries, and he starts that after. I think he's doing Mr. I at the moment for Reverie, and then the torn crossover, and then an as yet unannounced project. And that's the guy. that's my Mr. I of Pete's. Yeah, it is. Pete's design. My drawing of Pete's.
Your name down the bottom there, mate.
Yeah,
Rob Lyle.
Way to tie it all together. Nice work.
I'm not the first guy who ever drew him, so
Yeah. First guy on Mr. I.
You did good on it there, actually. You sort of got that Bogart-esque sort of thing I was going for.
Yeah. So how did that work, Pete? Did Gary give you sort of like a guy with no eyes? And
well, basically Gary just said, I'm just doing this private detective with no eyes, and gave me a brief rundown on how he gets paid with eyes and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought, it's a private detective. And I don't know why, but I just thought, if I'm going to do a private detective, I'm going to do Humphrey Bogart. And just sort of worked off there.
Yeah.
Just wanted to go that whole gumshoe trench coat thing. Mm-hmm. And it sort of works with how it all sort of came together too. So
yeah.
Nice.
There's a reason why I drew him. He just leaps off the page to me as someone cool. And
it was a fun one.
Yeah.
Excellent drawing, mate. Excellent bit of work.
Oh, cheers. Well, Pete's design. I'm standing on the shoulders of giants there, so.
Oh, I've just noticed Kieran has joined us. So
right.
I'll just see if he's ready. Kieran, you ready? Yep, cool.
Yep.
Well, I've got something here for you, Pete. Oh, you want to talk to Kieran first, I suppose.
Hey, everyone. Hi, everyone.
Hi, Kieran.
How you doing?
The surprise guest. I didn't have your name in the list.
Last minute.
Bonus.
You got in a bit early, Kieran. You were saying you might be here at 8:30.
Yeah. I've got a little one that had to be put to sleep, so yeah, I did that, and then
Hey, can you rephrase that?
Go to bed for a nap.
Just rephrase that, mate. Put to sleep is often a euphemism for, you know what, you know.
no, not at all.
Put to bed.
Yeah, my daughter was
Bedtime.
put to bed. That
Yes.
sounds better.
I was just showing off my comics here.
Mm,
Oh, another one.
yes.
First one I ever did. And
That's a
I've got
Ben
issue-
Sullivan cover.
Oh, that's the new one. I've got that one here too.
And the Ash Matty cover.
The cover
Oh,
on the
you've got
first
that?
one, Gary Chandler.
Yeah, this is the Ash Marty. Yeah, Mash Marty, is it this one?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yep, that's
That's
it.
it.
Yeah, that's his Billabong
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
He's done some work for you too, Kieran.
Yeah, just recently with the Apparition, he did the foil Kickstarter cover. So
Nice.
which looks really cool, and I'm getting those organised as we speak.
Yeah, right.
Getting it all together. Joys of
Well, as you-
self-publishing.
Oh yeah. So by getting together, you mean laying it out in InDesign or what?
Yeah. So putting it all together in InDesign and just finishing up on the last few pages for the book, and then sending them over to Graham Jackson to finish the lettering, and then off to printer by hopefully after I've done some revisions and some proofing and make sure I'm happy with it, and I'll be shipping it off to all our backers after May. Yeah. So a bit of work still to be done, but it's still smooth all together.
Excellent. Good to hear.
Nice.
Good to hear, mate.
Those characters in Apparition, all yours, all your designs and stuff?
Yeah. So they were all. I've been probably about a year now. I was working on those characters, just making sure I was happy with them and bouncing them off a few friends and whatnot, and getting some reference and some ideas behind them, and writing backstories, which was it was kind of different to what I'd done previously for creating characters, building the characters up with a bit of a story behind them before I actually go and write the actual story, and it was a completely different experience, and one that I thoroughly enjoyed.
Yeah, well, those designs are crazy good, especially the way you had them on Instagram, spotlighted every single person. Yeah, really cool.
It was a complete, it was very different to what I'd normally done as well. So I think I was testing myself, hopefully, to, develop as an artist and try and push myself to become better. And I definitely did that. There were lots of cursing behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And then you hear your little one parroting the curse words. And my son said shitty today for the first time. We were playing Xbox together, and he was like, "Oh, that's shitty." And I was like, "What? Where did that come from?" We high-fived, but then I scolded him.
Turn to your wife and say, "What have you been teaching the boy?"
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, yeah. Kieran, you finished a Kickstarter recently, did you?
Yeah.
Did you finish?
Yeah,
did you have a Kickstarter? That successful, obviously.
Yeah, Kickstarter running for the Apparition. It ran for the stressfully successful. Yep, definitely successful by the end of it. We got there, but it was definitely a stressful road nonetheless. Ups and downs. Was one of our largest ones we run, but we got there eventually, which was the important thing. But yeah, it's honestly, I enjoy doing the Kickstarter. I kind of like the thrill of the chase, I guess, trying to get it funded and pushing it down people's throats, basically, on social media. Without no conventions. It's kind of the only way to get it out there at the moment for us indie creators, unless we somehow find a way to get it onto Diamond. But it was a good little campaign to run, and I'm getting ready for the next one after this one. So
Nice.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to the cons coming back.
Sorry.
That's okay.
We've got Super Ready Battle Armor coming next, which is the manga series created by Bradley Aiden, and that is launching on the 1st of May.
Does that already have issues out, that one?
Yeah, so that's this is its 4th issue we're going for now. So it's currently, I think we haven't really decided on how long it'll run for. We're still working on that, but it's Brad's brainchild, and he brought it to Halftone Productions, and we've been producing it for probably the last 4 years now. He basically gets an issue out every year because he has a day job and a few other things on the side. So, which is cool. It's a good little series, and we enjoy getting it out there and getting amongst everyone. So I think manga in Australia is completely different to what it is overseas. I think it's a bit of a harder sell, but I think the audiences that enjoy it tend to come back and want to keep reading it. And it's a great story. I love it.
It's a very loyal audience. If you can get them in, they really stick.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Peter. It's definitely a loyal audience, and we've found that with the Kickstarters especially, that majority of the people that grab the first one are coming back and grabbing the second, the third, and fourth one. So it's definitely a niche audience in Australia. Unless it's been an anime, we find that if you've got an anime of the manga, then it's going to be a complete hit. But if it's a manga by itself, it's a different sell. But it's a growing series, and we hope to continue producing it.
What do you mean by that?
Sorry, what's that, Dave?
Easy
I was going to ask. You're saying that anime and manga together. What is that? I mean, you're putting out a film with the manga.
Yeah. So if you'll find that if the manga crowd, they enjoy that definitely that style of comic book storytelling. But if it's been released as an anime, there is a different audience that get drawn into the manga. And
right. Oh, okay.
Vice versa, they tend to just both really bounce off each other. So, the dream would be to be able to turn this into an anime, and one day.
Well,
people say to me, people say, why don't you just make a cartoon of your stuff? And I'm like, like I'm not doing it.
I'm just gonna go. I'm just going to go and learn a degree in animation for the next 5 years, and I'll be able to do it. Yeah, sure. No problem. I mean, if you're a guy who created Salad Fingers, I mean, yeah, sure, no problem.
Yeah.
And that works. This is the proof because, I didn't know manga from, I think I had seen some manga books before, way back in the early 90s. But when I saw Ghost in the Shell on SBS, I was blown away. That's incredible. I just can't believe that. And so as soon as I got back to me home, I went to the local bookshop and ordered this. This had to come from America or something. This is in the mid-90s, I think it was. 90 would have been 98 that I went straight home and ordered that. And that's the proof of what you're talking about, Kieran.
Yeah.
It makes people go, I've seen that movie. I just want to know more about it. And I just reread that about a month ago. Mm-hmm. Bloody good reads, I tell you, good stories in there. Can I say bloody?
Too late now.
I hope so, because I said the S word before. So.
Yeah.
That was a quote, so it's my son that's in trouble.
Cool. Well,
how's our Kickstarter going now, Shane?
Last time I looked at, and I'll see if I can got it on another screen. Yes, I have. We're at 1655, and that's 110%, I think. Yeah, 100%, 10% funded. So we're over the mark at least. So that's good. Yep. So
I've never been 110% anything before.
You can only hope to do Darren Face's trick and get 200 sitting there.
It'd be nice.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. Well,
speaking of the Kickstarter, I might show the next artwork that we have. I'm just going to go in the order of the screen. So we'll look at Rob's.
I love it.
Beautiful.
Oh, wow. Look at that, would you? Oh, golly.
Good crowd scene, mate.
Yeah, so I just wanted to basically put, that's kind of like, I'm calling it the Spedsy verse, which my nickname's Spedsy. Just like, so this is my sort of all the foundations of the universe that I've been creating. That's the awesome team up in the top right hand corner who are in Devil's Toilet 2, and one day will maybe get their own book.
Nice.
That's Old Man Biscuit in the bottom right. He's the sort of lead character in the Vamoose anthology.
In Vamoose, yeah.
And then top left is their characters from I had a radio show when I was about 19, 20. It was called, what was it called? Radio Crumpet. It was on Knox FM. And we did a radio play called Space Cheese. And those are the characters from Space Cheese. And I've always meant to put them in a comic book. And yeah, they're officially going to be in Vamoose issue 3, I think. And then that's just below them, the turtle in the top hat. That's Frederick Cheloney, the turtle detective. He'll be in Shane's Citrus Comics anthology. He'll get a little bit of a prologue before he appears in Devil's Toilet. And then the other guys are, the main characters from the Devil's Toilet, and Meat Sack Jack up the front with his sister Annika, the Angel of Awesome. That's pretty much... Yeah, and then the bad guys up the back, they're from the Bing Bang Boom squad. That's Heartbeater in the pink and purple. And Rosebot with the weird electric brain thingy. Just all different characters from my little silly universe of fun. So
nice.
Who's the old bloke with the white moustache and the green beret?
Yeah, that's General Custard. He's one of the bad guys in the Devil's Toilet universe. He wants his solution to everything is drop nukes on it.
Like you should, like any good military man. The toilet's armed with pistols.
Yeah, so they're hell guns. So his bowl serves as a portal to hell, and so if ever he's in trouble, he just reaches in his bowl, pulls out some guns. I don't know what makes them hell guns different from regular guns, but I like to think there's something. They're called hell guns. They sound a little bit cooler. I don't know.
I was wondering how he got the guns.
Why not?
Yeah. He can pull anything out of there, but his favourites are those two.
Nice.
Lovely. How many comics are you putting out at the moment, Spedsy?
Just Devil's Toilet and Vamoose are the two that are currently going. And then Shane's Citrus Comics comes out. Is that announced? Are we allowed to talk about that, or am I...
No.
Oh, it's
that's coming out later in the year.
Yeah, that's coming out after July.
Okay. Yeah, so there'll be 3, I guess, running in July. 2 at the moment, 3 later.
And they all finished. Not the Citrus is not finished, but all your.
No, nothing's finished. Nothing's finished. Okay. The Devil's Toilet is up to issue 3. I've only just written it. Vamoose number 2 is maybe halfway done. That's an anthology with a bunch of different people. So a few people are finished, a few people are just starting. And then the Citrus comic, I think I'm the last one to start because I'm trying to get Vamoose done first. So we have a little private chat going, and everyone shows pages, and they're like, "How's everyone else's going?" And I'm like, "Good, I haven't started, but I'll catch up. I'll be there."
Awesome. Cool.
Excellent.
Well, we'll look at Peter's. This one's also coloured by his daughter Dana, so credit where credit's due.
Oh yeah, she did a great job on that.
Yeah, very nice, mate. Very nice.
Yeah, she was fun to draw. Like the original drawing was nice, and I thought, and I could have coloured it myself, but I couldn't have given it that kind of pop. I knew to go in, just give it that extra life.
Yeah,
way better.
Well, the what do you call it? The secondary light, the orange light bouncing off her side there from the flame, and that's really well done, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really well done.
What do you call that? The second light coming on. What do you call that?
Well,
I like second light. Sounds good.
Second light sounds awesome.
Reflected light. Yeah, reflected. Whoever said that.
Reflected light.
Yes. Whoever said that gets the money, I think.
You guys are getting paid? Sweet.
Not everyone. No, Rob, we're not being paid. No, it's all good.
I like the costume. The costume she's wearing reminds me of who was that runner, the American runner at the Atlantic Olympics, Florence
Not sure.
Joyner.
Sorry.
You don't remember her?
No.
She used to run in a lead or running pants with one leg missing, just like that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. She was a very attractive woman and very athletic. She could have almost modelled for that, although she was African American. But yeah. Mm.
Pete, did you design Billabong as well?
Yeah. Again,
Yeah,
Gary just gave me a brief rundown of her abilities and a little bit of backstory.
Yep.
He actually wanted a sort of Debbie Harry type, but when I tried to do that, it didn't have any sort of pop to it at all. So I was thinking, she's like 70 years old.
Yeah.
And she looks like that. So I just sort of went, well, she's got to be like that then. She's going to have an ego. She'll be like a bit of I sort of inserted it into my head as an Instagrammer.
Oh, yeah.
Like the super Instagram girl. So I just sort of did that.
That's super weird, the Deborah Harry thing, because I'm writing a book, Larrikin and Just, for Gary at Reverie, and he wants the main character, the female character, to be like Deborah Harry. So he obviously wants a Deborah Harry, hasn't got his Deborah Harry yet.
Yeah.
And he won't rest until he has her.
Blondie.
Oh, look, she was actually, when I did the first drawing of her and sent it off, do you like this? She just went, yes.
Awesome.
So
Nice.
Really,
Well done.
Yeah, it'd be hard to knock that back.
All the Torn characters in that comic, with the exception of Mr. Kane, the cane-toed looking villain, he pretty much just took as soon as I presented them. The cane-toed one, the Cane Man, I went sort of, I want to go Jenny DeVito.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I just didn't but Gary didn't want, he wanted somebody bigger and more imposing, which is fair enough. Characters. So I redid that one. But I wonder went more Marlon Brando then if I have to put a human casting to it.
Marlon Brando.
Since I couldn't have him, I've worked him in somewhere else.
Yeah.
Have you? So
you
snuck him in.
And Pete, did I hear that you're doing a Rick McClune thing as well? A Rick McClune second fastest gun in the West?
I'm really looking forward to it. Like Dave's on that book now. Ben Sullivan's done it, so we've got big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
And, Hayden's going to be writing initially, and I think Dave Williams will be doing some after. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh, you've got everything in there. Oh, Dave, you're the Dave. You're doing Rick McClune.
Yep.
Sweet.
I'm doing
Small world.
Yeah. Pete's got the cover, although
I might do a cover for it, and we'll see what happens there. And
I think
nice.
Mine's probably about, I think there's about 2 or 3. There's one out already, and there's another one coming out. Then there might be another one before mine actually gets print. So, but I'm still working on it. So
Hayden's still just starting to write my ones, and I've got to finish my Torn one before I can jump onto that anyway. So,
what's the title of yours, Pete?
Now I'm doing Torn now.
Yeah.
And I'm about 3/4 of the way through issue 3, and then I've got issue 4. After that, if I can get it written, I'll do something of my own, and then possibly a revamp of Bullet Gal if Andrew can get off and write that, and then with McClune,
Nice.
Bullet Gal. Oh yeah, Andrew Bergen.
I've
Andrew Bergen.
Cool. And it looks like sorry.
Sort of a next generation version of that.
Yep.
That's good fun, so.
And it looks like we've got a full room now. Tony's here. So I'll just bring up Tony Menzie.
Hello.
Hey,
Sorry to
Tony.
leave you in the blue room for there, or green room, or whatever it's called.
Hey guys, how are we?
Good, Tony. G'day, mate.
Awesome, good to see you all. Hey,
You look like the host of a
Yeah.
radio show, Tony.
have been
Nice
and
microphone.
won't go back to it. No.
Yeah.
Hold the microphone.
Yeah, that is. Looks like it's got the TUE logo on it or something.
Yeah,
what is it?
that's what I thought. Yeah, big
Oh,
microphone.
that one.
and then a
Oh, right.
Called up pop.
Oh man, yeah. No, sorry, mate. Had some computer issues. I'm on a Mac, which is still my second language, so I'm still coming up to speed.
Right. Yeah. Good luck.
Totally understand. I don't know Max to save my life.
I've been working with IBMs for 20 years, and I still don't know how to work them. So I'd have no chance with an Apple Mac.
Oh, so what did I miss?
Well, you
I
missed
just-
all the fun, mate.
I fired up my Commodore 64 and finally got the thing going.
Jeez, you're gunning my Vic 20 by
We're all laughing.
Cool.
We know what you're talking about.
Oh man.
So, Tony, tell us something about the Fallen. I don't know much about Fallen except that the characters look crazy.
Oh, thanks,
Yes.
dude. Thank you, man. Well, it's still very much work in progress. It's been a labour of love for the last few years, and I'm still mad in that whirlwind of anything is possible. So it's a wonderful playground, but I haven't cemented too much in at the moment. But overall, it's sort of a zombie samurai feudal Japan meets Game of Thrones
Oh,
quest.
nice. Quest. Yeah.
So it's yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, sorry, Pete.
Not
Couldn't
at all
quite hear you there, mate.
complicated. Nice and simple.
No, very simple, very simple. So no, it's all good. I was hoping to get it out last year, and now I'm hoping to get it out before the end of this year. So we'll see how we go.
Is that huge beast character the main character? That big
The-
weird guy?
Oh, he the bat armor.
Oh,
dude.
yeah, it's a bat. Of course it is. Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's the antagonist. So he's
Okay.
the son of the emperor.
Well, he looks pretty.
I was going to say,
He
speaking of
looks
which,
like a good villain.
Ah,
That
Yeah.
looks like a villain.
That is
And
yeah. So no, he's the big bad wolf. At least in the first sort of arc. There may be some changes in store, but we'll see how we go.
without giving too much away, is he like in control of the undead? Is he?
No.
Oh,
No, again, this image may be from further into the story. Certainly at the start, no one is, apart from a very, very select few who know an inkling of what's going on and are very keen to try and control it. But no, this image is sort of much further into the story
there's a
without giving anything away.
absolutely horrifying
Excellent preview.
face there. I'm not talking about the bat samurai. I'm talking about that one with a beard on the left-hand side.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
kind of
See
that's a
that?
scary
Ah,
face, that one. Look at that one. Look at that one.
I'm
Oh,
gonna have nightmares.
I had the worst
tonight
nightmare
now.
one night, and it came to me.
You didn't even
Love
have
you,
to
mate.
do
Love
anything
you,
to
mate.
make it look zombie-ish. It's just like a
no,
straight-
it just works straight away.
That's Shane on a good day.
I guess a ComX hat would have been one step too far.
Oh,
I guess.
yeah.
Breaking the third wall.
No,
Does this
Yeah.
come from a love of like sort of the whole sort of samurai thing? Is it a love of yours, that genre, or is it more that you went into it with a love of zombie movies, or what?
Yeah, look, I'm a huge nerd, so it's a love of all genre fiction, really. But I'm a sucker for the old samurai films. Shogun Assassin was a favourite of mine as a young kid. A few of you guys might remember that one. I don't know, but it was very much, you know, buckets of blood, and anyone got a wound, there was blood gushing all over the set. So I grew up on those sort of films and very much Romero zombie films as well. So it's Fallen is sort of a genre-wise, it's a big mishmash of those samurai films, of the zombie films, and there's a little bit of sci-fi going on in there as well, a bit of cosmic horror lurking in the dark corners behind all that as well. Yeah,
that's given away by what's happening under that arch.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. The gate.
The gate. Sorry. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, two gates. Two gates, really. Yeah, there's a Torii gate and there's a dimensional gate forming as well. Yeah.
Right. Yep. Yeah. So there you go. Yeah. And this hasn't been. You haven't put out any of these yet, Tony?
No, not yet. I've got a bunch of stuff, character design wise and world designing stuff, and I've got a Bible, that's as long as my arm. But no, still working on nutting out the story. I want to sort of, I think it's George R. Martin says, there are architects and gardeners when it comes to writing, and I think I'm a bit of both. So I love planning, I love laying out the foundation, I love going into the history and delving in, but I also love seeing where it takes me as well.
Yeah, right.
So I know Rob, you're a writer as well, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm very much a gardener at the start until the garden starts getting a bit unruly. And then I'm like, oh shit, I better plan out the rest of this. But some of my most favorite writing moments are when you're just typing and something just happens, and you had this character was going to make it all the way to the end and do this, and this, but then suddenly they're being killed, and you're like, what happened? But that's where the scene went, and then it just. Yeah,
and it's so rewarding for you as a writer as well, isn't it? Yeah. Because you don't expect it. If you put in that groundwork, that architecture, the characters bounce and spark off each other and surprise you as well. Yeah,
that's actually what Kieran was talking about before, about planning the characters out first, and that's something I've only just learned recently. Like, rather than go plot first, making characters and what they stand for and what they believe in, and then suddenly you put those two people in a room. And the story just starts happening because they're opposed when it comes to this, or and the plot is almost second to all these character moments that form the plot, sort of.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
And I think the great thing about that is you only need to look back at what Stan says when he was creating comics. The characters are the pivotal point of any story. That all the characters have made those stories such a pivotal point in, like, the likes of Spider-Man, for instance, is like. Those characters, it doesn't matter if it's based in New York, it's the characters that lead it. It's your minor characters, it's your Gwen Stacy's, it's your Aunt May's. All those minor characters build that story and make that so much better. So for the instance of writing our own stories, even the most minuscule character can be such a pivotal moment in the arc of our hero's story.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
In Ultimate Spider-Man, Bendis' Ultimate Spider-Man, Mary Jane almost becomes the lead character at one point. Her story is just so interesting. It's the most interested I've ever been in Mary Jane. I don't know where I was going with this point, other than, hey, that was good.
No, that's the thing. Like, if you can write a character that is maybe a side character that can kind of carry her own story, that's even better for the reader. I've had that recently with In Purgatory, that people have asked me about side characters that they've got such it's such a story that captivates them that they want to know more about that character, and it's kind of funny because where that character's story is going, and that you could actually do a lot more with it with the people that are asking for more. So I think that's rewarding in itself.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, writing's a real craft, that's for sure.
Well, that could be a good excuse to go to Kieran's picture.
Oh, you don't need to do that.
You're in here. It's your turn.
So the talking bread. Where do I begin? 6 years ago now, this came to life. You know, it basically was built off the back of my baking career. And for anyone that doesn't realize that, I was a baker, unfortunately, for 10 years. And I decided to write a story about bread. I wanted to do something that no one else had really done in the indies community. You know, you've got your likes of Invader Zim and Johnny the Homicidal Maniac and The Mask and The Max, all those kind of comics that I grew up with. I wanted to do something wacky and weird. So the Talking Bread was that first step into comic books. It was kind of a transition into making comic books using my past career as a baker. So as you can see from this image, that these are my main 6 characters, and the story went for 6 issues and concluded in 2018.
Oh, yep.
And
finished.
it was well received. What was that?
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're finished. You're not putting out anymore.
There's no real plans to put out. I'm having too much fun doing In Purgatory at the moment, and I think the bread is kind of done and dusted.
It's gone stale, has it?
It's
Gone stale.
These are all jokes that I'm sure are already in the book, so we're all just treading water that's already been tread.
And I've heard them time and time again.
Sorry, we're
I'm
just
not going back. All the bread puns.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fun. It was fun to do. The 6 issues were well received. We've sold over 6,500 copies, which is, I think
that's great.
That's something.
Dude, that's huge.
That's awesome.
So
Yeah,
I'm pretty
I
happy
can remember.
with that. So
I can remember being at the Melbourne Supernova. I think it was the last one, and you were had a table up the end from me, and there was a lot of people around your table, mate.
yeah, it's kind of the Talking Bread has been a series that kind of captivates the children, but also the adults. I guess like what Pixar films do, and they see the humor in it, but they also see the above head jokes that I do tell in them that parents understand, but kids might not. So I think there's a bit of a buzz from that as well, when you get children saying that they love to read your comics, but also the parents come up and say, look, this is a kid's book, but we really enjoy reading it also. So fun thing about this now is that I'm actually in the process of coloring the series. So we're going
they're
to
all black
release
and white
it as a trade paperback. They are all black and white.
Oh, awesome.
So they were originally, and then now I'm going through the absolute joy that is coloring.
I hate it.
Revisiting my first. Well, I don't hate it. It's just revisiting that first piece of art that you did. The dread that comes with it. It's like a musician. I like to think of it like a musician when they go and play their old EPs to a live crowd. They actually hate it, and this feels exactly the same. So, but sorry, you go.
I was going to say you're a bit worried you might end up redrawing half the first issue with you.
Yeah.
I might have already done that.
Redraw our first issue.
It's funny because Brendan Dan has actually threatened me not to touch the pages. He thinks that they are perfect the way they are, and he goes, "Do not dare touch them, or I'll kick your ass." So,
right, okay.
I can't touch too much, but I can touch certain parts that I know that I can't let that slide. So,
right.
Revisiting for this.
The thing about
revisiting for this. Sorry, Dave. What'd you say?
Sorry, Kieran, but I was just going to say the thing about your original stories, and I think other people have mentioned this, is that when you look back through your body of work over the years, you can see the progression. And if you start to change things and then re-release it as number one, re-edited or something, it sort of becomes a bit muzzy and you lose. I can remember buying Dave Sims. What did he do? That American bloke, Cerebus.
Yes.
And
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I bought the. I wanted to get the first one, and that was the one that had, was an anthology. Like it had about 12 or 15 issues in the one volume, a trade paperback. And that's the one I wanted to get because I wanted to see where he was when he started. Because I had one later on when it was Sons and Daughters or Churches or something, which was about number 5 in the volume set. And I wanted to see what it was originally, to see how much my first comics looked or what they looked like next to his first. And so I think if he had touched them up and done things to them, it would have been all changed and different. So I think people really want to see what your first stuff was. Even in the future, they want to see it.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm only doing small amounts to it. I don't want to ruin the enjoyment for people that have read the comic, who actually picked up the single issues and go and pick up the coloured version and notice that I've done massive changes. But there are small things that I wanted to change. So coming back and doing this was actually a lot harder than I thought it would be, drawing these characters, because I've taken such a shift away from what I was originally doing with these characters. So it was actually it was a little bit of a challenge, which was good to do. But I think the fun thing about this was actually leaving breadcrumbs throughout the artwork for people to recognise that might be familiar with the story. So you've got, there's the atomic toaster in the background. I'm pointing at the screen, no one can see. There's the atomic toaster.
I thought you were pointing at Pete. I was like, what?
I was like, just realised that. So you've got the atomic toaster, and then there's the master baker in the background, and you can see the very far there's the giant weevil silhouette. There's little things.
Oh
yeah.
Who's the bloke at the top right?
That's
looking out the window.
Yeah,
right.
Master Baker.
And there's a donut behind the dumpster there?
Yeah.
the bin.
Yep. So sprinkles the donuts behind the bin. So yeah, it was fun, but it was a challenge going back to these characters after, I reckon it's been like 3 years since I've drawn them. So going back and doing it again was good. It was good fun.
Got great expressions on their faces and that, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, they're all
little known fact.
Personalities.
Little known fact, in that drain just below that ooze is 4 baby turtles. Just that ooze is about to drop on them, and that's where it all started. Just we get the speculator market going for that first issue.
Yeah.
We've got like a pizza baseline around there anyway.
But the fun fact about this is that, they've all got their own little personalities, and they may or may not reflect characters that I worked with in the actual industry. So,
right.
Name names and point fingers.
Yes, you've got that little indicia there. No one, this bears no resemblance to anyone living or dead or whatever.
That's exactly right. Yep. I actually am updating the digital file right now as we speak.
Yes, you don't want to end up in court, mate.
Yes, but the bread is done for the time being.
Right.
Oh, it's done. Okay, I'll get rid of it then.
Put it back.
The bread is finished for now.
Yes, for now. Cool. Well, something I wanted to do during this video was to show off something that Tony Menzies actually done for us. I was going to go through each person's art, and I thought, well, this would be a better way to do it. So I just got to swap some screens around so I can do this properly. And we'll just... Okay, there we go. And if I press this, it'll go to the wrong screen. Great work.
Well, that's one of those effects. Mirror in front of a mirror in front of a mirror.
I've done that
All right, someone tap dance.
someone do a dance while I figure this out.
Dave, your character from the calendar, is that upcoming in a comic or?
Yeah. You missed earlier on, Tony. We were discussing that, and Lee. That's Lee. She's a main character in most of my issues of Amazing Tales. So this is Amazing Tales number 4. In each one, there's this is the horror. This is the chiller version. This is the latest one out.
Yep.
And it's a horror chiller.
Nice.
So it's all horror stories. So
I love your style, man. It's awesome.
So she's actually the main character in this. This usually have about 4 stories in each comic, but there's only 3 in this one because that first Dropship 15 story is about 17 pages long.
Oh, wow.
And then I only had room for 6 or 8 page stories. So I've got a mummy story in there as well.
Nice.
And
Awesome.
that's not Dropship 15, so she's not in that one. And the other one is Where Dingoes in the outback of Australia.
Nice.
Perfect. I love it.
And vampires, all the horror stuff. Starts off in the swamps up in Kakadu.
Nice.
Awesome.
That's fantastic.
I write and draw all my stuff, but I've had one or two. I've had, as I said, Darren Koziel wrote one of my stories that I've got, but most of mine are written by myself, and I do all the illustration as well. And the illustration's all right, but when it comes to colouring, that just drives me mad. Like Kieran was sort of saying, I don't know if Kieran actually said it or not, but I like drawing, but to me, once it gets to the colouring stage, it's like when you're a kid, you colouring in book, and it's like filling the blank spots, with colour. I don't get as much fun out of that as actually drawing and creating the comic.
No, I've had to force myself. I was purely black and white for years up until, reasonably recently, and I had to force myself to try and learn colour, and I'm still learning it.
Look at Pete's laughing.
I'm laughing. What do you think? I got my daughter to do mine.
So you got the right idea.
She's actually colouring when I do the Rick McClune issue. She's going to be colouring those as well for me. So
awesome!
Yeah.
Awesome!
Lucky.
Oh, she's got the right brain set. I haven't even really discussed it with her yet, and she's already got a colour palette in her head.
Right.
No.
Yeah, good.
Go with yes.
I was trying to convince my daughter last time I spoke to her that she should be doing that sort of stuff, colouring comics.
Yeah.
A lot of people she'd be in demand, do it.
Yeah.
I'm number 1.
You jump the queue. Well, you're in good company. Matt Wagner, his son, Brennan, is a fantastic colorist. He's colouring for a lot of Tim Sale stuff and his dad's stuff as well. And so there's a heritage there.
What name did you mention there? Who was it? Matt?
Matt Wagner, the guy who did Grendel, Mage. He's done a bunch of Batman and Superman stories over the years for DC.
Yeah.
Very, very talented writer-artist. But his son, who, jeepers, Brennan must be early 30s now, I guess. Yeah. Mm. But he's a very talented colorist in his own right.
Oh, right, yeah. So I just say g'day to George Hall. I saw a couple of messages up from
he's in Facebook. Yep.
G'day, George. He can't answer.
No, he can't answer.
The perfect relationship.
It was like he was going to say something.
I just finished. I'm, like I said earlier on, about 3/4 of the way through the next issue of Torn. I've had to draw probably 7 explosions, freaking eagles.
That eagle was a beauty, mate.
That
eagle was a ripper.
That eagle was awesome.
One out of eagles and 1 out of explosions. Beauty. I'll turn the script on the next page. I'll fucking pterodactyl.
Pete, do you think he takes more pleasure in putting his characters through hell or putting you through hell?
He might. George actually said to me once, he's glad he's not drawing this stuff. Look, all kidding aside, it's great. Torn's the first. I literally hadn't drawn anything, hardly anything, for 30 years. I gave up years ago. Started doing my job in TV, and that'll be it. I'll just do that. Just stop drawing, and until I got offered the NED stuff for Reverie, the first 4 pages, and from that they gave me Ned, and Torn, and like it's good because what George has written has just made. I can't rest on my laurels with any of it. He's always given me something new and something challenging.
Yeah.
What's the point doing this if you're not getting pushed?
Yeah, that's right.
So it's been a lot of fun. He's really made it a hard job, and that's another reason why I'm looking forward to going on to Rick McClure. That whole different genre of going to the Western is just going to push another direction. So,
and I think your style will really suit it, mate, too.
I'm hoping. I think the poster come up pretty well, and Gary wants to make a cover.
I haven't seen that yet. It's hidden away at the moment, is it?
I had it up on Facebook and stuff, but
I miss Facebook a lot.
I haven't put the inked version up at all yet because I haven't inked it. But I'm about 3/4 of the way through. About 3/4 for everything these days, and so I'll do that. So that'll be one cover, which would probably depends on when he uses it. It'll either be the first or second cover I've ever done. So that'll be good. I'm doing a cover for Bronwyn now.
Oh yeah. For Zach. So,
I did a couple of drawings of her for fun, and Zach's like, do me a cover. So cool, I'll do that. And Dana's going to colour that one for me too, so that'll be fun.
Nice.
Awesome. Yeah, it's good, mate. Keeping you busy. Tony, how long have you been drawing, mate?
I'm similar to Pete. I'm mid-50s, and I was an avid drawer right up until my late teens. And then I packed it in, similar to you, mate, and similar to you, went into radio and television as well, and only sort of picked up the pen, what would it be, about 4.5 years, a bit over 4.5 years ago now. And went traditional for about a year, and then jumped into digital with an iPad Pro, and haven't looked back. But no, I was the same. I had a 30+ year gap in between as well, mate. Yeah.
Yeah. In that time, you probably still did a bit of drawing or something, just on the side or something like that. You had a sketchbook or something.
No, not really that much. No? I found other creative avenues. I guess I did a bit of theatre, a bit of acting, bit of radio, television work and stuff. But
I'll get your autograph later.
Sorry, mate.
I'll get your autograph later.
But I don't know if you were the same, Pete. My son sort of got me back into it. He's a great little drawer, and he was getting frustrated one day. He's only 12, and this would have been when he was 8 or so, or no, probably 7, yeah. And he was getting a bit frustrated, and I said, "No, look, we'll do it together." And then I just sort of fell back into the habit, and then started doing a sketch each day just to get myself into the habit. Then started doing drawing challenges, like you were saying, Pete. It's you got to push yourself. If you're doing the same thing over and over, it just becomes an exercise.
My daughter was starting to draw, and so I just sort of, if you go into a face here, you do this first, do the construction lines and all that, and wireframe up the bodies and line of motion, sort of told her all that stuff, and she just sort of took it and just ran, just bolted off. And her very, very stuff when she was very young was very much influenced by like watching Pokemon and other animes and stuff, and that was very heavily in there. That fell to the side as you started seeing other comics and other art styles, and like all of us, you just went, I like that, pulled it out of that style, pulled that, and started meshing it all up on a page and turn it into something that's just her way of doing things. Her looks great. I really love the stuff that she's pulling out.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And if she's right, the story she's writing, and she's doing all of that world building stuff. She's got dozens of characters with beautiful little backstories and personality traits, and she's just pulling them all together into a couple of different storylines now. It'll be interesting when she gets out. Her homeless people are amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah, good to have good imagination. Got to come up with toilets with guns and posters lying down the alley. Got to have an imagination to be a writer. Write comics.
Find me on Saturday, mate. I've got to get a copy of The Devil's Toilet off you. I have not even seen that yet. I really want to read that.
Oh, it's worth the wait, mate. I promise. You'd be like, how did he make these toilet stories so lyrical and Shakespearean? It'll be, you'd be quite
All right. And what about Kieran? Your what's the latest one out? The one you're putting out now?
The Apparition.
What's it called again? The Apparition, yeah. Have you written that whole complete story, the whole storyline's all written out? And
Yep, it's finished. It's all written, finished. I've bounced it around to a few people to read it. I've got some feedback. There's some minor edits to make, but it's all written and done. So I'm just got to... Obviously, I'll finish up the last few pages for the first volume, and then we'll send that to print, and then I'll basically begin work on the next one, and hopefully have that done by the end of the year whilst working on the Talking Bread. But it's kind of a short series, short and sweet. I've kind of wanted to get this story out for a while, and obviously it's a parody. It's a parody on golden age of comic books and pulp noir stories, as you might be able to tell from the cover and stuff, without naming names for legal reasons. But I've had a lot of fun writing this. And I kind of just want to get it out and get it out to people and jump back into In Purgatory, because I've still got more story to tell there.
Right.
Nice.
So,
that's an awesome comic.
Yeah, cheers, man.
So I'm just thinking, from what you just said, it could be like we've all got a good friend, Matt Kime, and maybe some sort of relationship to that sort of what he went through, or maybe I shouldn't be saying anything. You know what I'm talking about? The character that he had.
Honestly, it's just a parody series, really. Just think of the Tick and the Mask and those great parody series comics. Taking fun at all the. But it's been an absolute delight writing it. Like I said before, I kind of went and wrote the characters and the places first, and bouncing off a few creators and talking to them about the process I was taking. They were actually really helpful in getting the world built around it. So going forth, I'd never written a superhero comic before. Well, I guess this is a superhero comic in a certain sense, but doing that was completely different to what I'd done with In Purgatory or the Talking Bread, for that matter. So I'm always trying to challenge myself, and I think I've done that with this one as well, and the feedback that I've had for it has been really good. So look, I'm looking forward to getting it out to everyone. I'm really excited to see what people think of it, and whether it lives up to the hype that's kind of been built behind it. But I am looking forward to jumping back into In Purgatory too, because I want to finish that story off. It's got about 4 issues left of it, so which I'm still writing. I've got an end game, so from there it's kind of just building what's in between, the bread and butter of it, really.
Right, yeah.
Do you work fast, Kieran, at like putting pages out?
I'm getting more fast. I'm getting faster at it. It used to be a day. Used to be a day a page. Now it's roughly 2 a day. Penciling and inking them. Then I do transfer them digitally and chuck them into Clip Studio and do some editing in there. What needs to be fixed up with my left-handed curse, smudging my pages with ink.
The advantage of going digital, my friend. You know.
Yes, I know, but I do love the traditional process. Like, I've been doing this my whole life. I've been drawing since I was a 3-year-old, so I love that process. And digitally, you know, there are ways that I can change it up by doing it digitally, but I just find putting pencil to paper and ink to paper is a whole lot more enjoyable and tangible too. People love to pick up my artwork, and anyone loves to pick up artwork that's, you know, on paper. I'm not sold on the whole NTF fad that's going on. I'm going to call it a fad.
It'll burn itself out pretty rapidly, I would imagine.
Yeah, I'm just not on board. I still wasn't on board for crypto, so I'm just not sure that this is going to be a thing.
What's NTF? What's NTF?
It's NFT. I think it's something.
I don't even know what it is.
I was going to try and say what it is, but I don't think I can say it. I don't know.
It's sort of you've heard of Bitcoin, yeah?
Oh yeah.
It's sort of imagine someone sticky tapes an image onto a coin. It's sort of my understanding of what an NFT is. It's basically an electronic form of currency, but they're trading them, so they just find it's a bit like stamp collecting back in the old days, except multiplied by millions of dollars.
Yeah, so like a piece has like a digital signature on it or something that makes it yours. Like if you bought it. And then
exactly. They
and that's in value. I don't know.
And that's the downside to it to mint a Bitcoin, an NFT, a non-fungible token.
Yes, that's it.
Takes forever.
All mine are so fungible.
I don't understand most of it, but no, it's for me. It's one of those fads. So I'm sure 6-12 months from now it'll be something else.
So there's definitely a joy.
A frame on their wall. They'll have the rich bloke will have this framed little USB drive.
Yeah.
What's that? You'll take it was like the Mona Lisa. Oh wow.
That's an original Peter Lawson.
It's the Wild West as well, because I know a lot of people are minting these NFTs using other people's artwork without their permission as well, and a bunch of DC artists are getting in trouble for using images they've created, but they don't own the copyright to. So it's crazy out there in it at the moment.
Right.
I'll stick to traditional, thanks.
Yeah, I'm with you, Kieran. How do you do yours, Rob?
I'm all digital now. So I used to draw on paper. Obviously, everyone did because digital's fairly new. But sort of, so I drew all through a teenager through to about I failed art theory in year 12, and so that meant I couldn't go to a fancy art school thing that I was planning to go to. So my dad was a musician. And so when I left school, I'd put all my effort into being in a band, and signed to a record label and toured Australia and was on the radio and all that sort of stuff.
Good on you.
The whole time I was called Mighty Boy. I'm sure you've heard of us. Of course you have.
Yeah.
I'm
going to go.
That's right. I remember them.
We played with Eskimo Joe and Body Jar and
all right.
Sort of
I heard it.
But then that sort of, when I ran out of money and we had to put an album out and I didn't have any money to do it. And the whole time I was still just drawing just for fun. And I sort of thought I'd gotten as far as I could get with my talent wise, as in, my drawing was at a certain level and I just accepted that that's where it was. Until someone showed me drawing on an iPad and suddenly my lines looked better and you could color it in. And like that's the thing about your artwork, Dave. When you say you hate coloring, your line work, there's so much black. It's so nice and crisp.
Yeah,
I can see why whereas mine like needs color because take the color away and there's not much. Like it's very cartoony, and I feel like my line work is lacking. If to make my characters pop, I need shading and colors and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
thanks, mate.
I've always loved, this sounds ridiculous, but someone was telling me, don't you like drawing on paper though, the feel? And like, I bought a whiteboard when I was 19 because I loved the feeling of the texture on the whiteboard, and that was my preferred way of drawing. So like digital is like, I was doing digital before there was such thing as digital. I was the OG of digital back when a tablet was a whiteboard. And yeah, like I would draw on plastic bags at work, and like I just loved that feel of the texture flying around. And yeah, I don't know why. So digital was a very smooth transition for me.
It took me ages to get used to the digital feel because until I bought the Surface Pro, I'd never done it.
Look at Dave, he's still laughing at my joke. Wow, loving it. Oh, you're making me blush now, Dave. Come on.
Damn. Look what you've done. You turned him into a...
Goals.
He's trying to come back.
Whoop,
wow.
Thankfully, you had pants on because that would have been really awesome.
Got me on a good day.
We might have got a few extra hits on the Kickstarter. You never know.
You'd probably lose a lot.
Yeah.
Anything to flog a calendar.
Yeah.
The
use of the word flog there was a bit suspect, but anyway, we'll keep going.
I've sort of come up with a sort of a new process of work. Well, not new, but it's something I've done the last couple of years. I've been doing. I was just trying to find the process. I just want to quickly show you how I do it, but I can't find the original thing. But what I've done sometimes, I do a small A4 drawing with a bit more detail than that, and then I'd put it in the computer, and then I'd enlarge it in Clip Studio and print it out in blue.
Nice.
And then ink it. So, and that's how I got my A3 size. Some of my A3 work was from a simple A4 size, and then stretch it, and then do the finished inks at that bigger size.
What's the go with that washing machine in that picture you just showed?
It's not a toilet.
I actually have a scene in Devil's Toilet 1 when the Devil's Toilet is escaping hell. He, on his way out, there's a washing machine there, and it's hard to see, but it looked like it used to have eyes, but the eyes are those cartoon crosses, as though there once was a devil's washing machine, but it died while trying to escape. And I don't know, that kind of looks like a bit of copyright infringement there, Dave. If anyone here's a lawyer, but
you got me.
Dave, what do you mainly use? You pen and brush, or?
Most of that will be with a brush and Indian ink.
Man.
Where I'm sitting now is where I do a lot of my work. This is my drawing board.
Old faithful.
Yeah, I got that. Do you remember the old Post magazine? Used to be out the Post, People, big one. They had that on the back of that, drawing courses. Yes. I rode away and started one of that. It was how to become a graphic designer or something or other. And that came with the course, that board. It's a ripper. Nice. I love it. Yeah. So, this is, we've probably got one of my brushes here.
Well, you look at, I know, Pete, one thing I find tricky is with digital is line weight. Varying the line weight is digitally I find much tougher than traditionally. Yeah, well, a brush, that's mostly done with a brush. These are beautiful, man. Mostly brush work. Awesome. Dave, were you a 2000 AD fan back in the day? I can see a...
No. Well, I did that. I did never heard of who this was. This is the Robo Hunter.
Yes.
Robot Hunter.
Slade,
Robot
yeah.
Hunter.
Yep.
And I never really knew about him, but Dan Watts, Dan Watts, he contacted me. He said, Dave, there's a competition. They want someone, 2000 AD wants someone to draw a robot hunter. Get your stuff in. So I just quickly did those two in a day and sent them off. And it was too late. I missed out, so it was a day late.
Mate, they do quarterly. Every 3 months they have a different character. Okay. They take submissions on. So you're still in for the next round, yeah. Or wait long enough and they'll come back. Yeah.
Well, it'll probably be a different one next time, so I'll just have to hopefully get a bit earlier warning.
So you got through those in a day, yeah?
Yeah, I knocked those up. But I used that process. I said I did a small drawing. I don't know where the originals are, but they're no bigger than 8. I did the originals on A3. A4.
A4, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And scanned them into Clip Studio and converted the line to the blue, printed it out. That's actually a printer paper, but I would normally use Bristol, a light Bristol, and just inked it. And once, I was pretty happy with the drawing, so I didn't have to do any alterations when I did the inking. Just fill in all the stuff as I go.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But I like the character. So when you get a character or something like that you can really identify with or go, yeah, I like that character. That's like when I'm doing this Rick McClune. It's a Western. I'm into it, and I just want to work on that. And it's not hard to work on it. It's something you can really enjoy. You do the cowboy hats and all the stuff that you like to draw, and that's just fun. You just, what it's
you're
like.
Not
sometimes
keen on a pterodactyl at all, or?
Well, you've got something lined up, have you?
I thought George might set you up for one.
Well, you could bounce it off me and see how we go, mate.
He likes to throw things at you.
But he likes a challenge.
In the first issue, we had me turning Torn into a gorilla, a crocodile, and a snake. And then crash a tram in Coburg.
Oh yeah, lovely.
Which I really don't like the way I drew it, but it is what it is. And I did my best at the time, and
yeah, well,
improving,
Yeah.
Well, don't be too worried about that, mate, because you're your own worst critic, as most people are.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. You only see the faults, yeah.
Mm.
Oh,
Not me. I've never seen a fault in anything.
I saw an interview with John Byrne, and that man's a god in comic art, and he said the same thing. Goes, every single thing he looks at, all he sees is everything you did wrong. And this is John Byrne. It's like, well, if he only sees faults.
Yeah, what
that's
right. For us, yeah.
It's funny because the image of mine that Shane just showed, the lady up the front's missing eyelashes on her left eye, and the person holding the phone behind her, there's nothing on the screen. But I forgot both of those things before I
Bring it up.
I sent a revised one later, but the first one keeps getting used for things, and I'm like, well, that serves me right for sending it before I look the whole thing over.
I'll have to correct that.
Spedsy, there's something you got to learn, mate. And someone was interviewing Elle Macpherson, and they said, Elle, you're a beautiful woman, and you're fantastic, and everyone adores you throughout the whole world. How do you feel about your yourself, your body and everything else. And she says, there's some things I'd like to improve. And I said, oh, what's that? She said, I'm not telling you. If you can't see it, I'm not telling you.
Yeah.
So you don't point them out yourself, mate.
Yeah. If you want to keep comparing me to Elle Macpherson, I'm fine with that too. Some say I am the body of Australian comics.
Hang on. Let me get my glasses on here. Hang on. No.
Yeah, you're going to need thicker lenses, I think.
No, you're right, mate.
Oh dear. Well, Tony got out of it before by changing the subject.
No.
No, so I'm still going to do it because I love this video. So I'm just going to go into it while everyone regroups.
I'll go put some pants on.
Please do. Okay. I need to get the right screen.
The suspense is killing us.
Okay.
These suspenders are holding my pants up.
Thank God.
Oh.
Volume.
Yeah, lacking sound. Love that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ben always knocks it out of the park as well, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Well, acrylic
Can't believe it.
painting.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lee, I love that, man.
Adam
Yeah.
Russell, awesome.
That was great.
Yeah.
That one's a bit crummy.
Colin did well there.
That's nice.
Oh, great take on Nebula, yeah.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, maroon.
Awesome.
Very nice.
That's great. You sort of, her work reminds me of the old Platinum Grit.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
I think I had a copy of that.
Which I say as a complete compliment.
Tommy guns.
That's old Flappers. There's old Tim.
That one's crazy.
Oh,
That's awesome.
That's a great tribute place.
Yeah.
isn't
it
it?
is.
Yeah.
Isaac.
Bronwyn, awesome.
Mm.
Chris's stuff. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice work.
Really like the background now. This one's just funny. Shades and nailed this.
It's the best gag in the calendar, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jet X, cool.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Nice.
Isn't this colouring
Coming.
great?
Yeah.
Who did this one?
Very nice. Is that 18? That's gone through quick.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like
this
only
one
yesterday
flies
we
off.
were at
That was
this one.
nice.
Short and sweet.
Pledge.
Pledge.
What program are you using, Tony? Is that Clip Studio?
Oh, no, that
or-
was that was just slapped together in iMovie.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah. I mean your actual drawing. What are you drawing?
Oh, sorry. No, it's Procreate on the iPad. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, on the iPad.
Yeah, I've actually grabbed a copy of Clip Studio Paint. So, Kieran, I'll be hijacking you for advice in the future, I'm sure, because I haven't started looking at it yet, but everyone is saying
it's a great
it's
program.
the they're saying it's a
I
great program for all round for making comics. Full stop. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
For the
Photoshop.
Yeah, but
price
just
of
for
it,
really.
what you can do with it, it's just what you want.
Yeah.
I heard the other day that the Procreate is designed by an Australian crew.
Right down here in Tassie, my hometown in Hobart.
Oh, right, yeah.
okay.
Oh, you're at Taswegian, are you, mate?
Yes. Down
Right.
here raining.
Yeah.
So who would have guessed?
You're in
Yeah,
Albury,
no.
aren't you, Kieran?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
Aubrey?
based in Aubrey, Wodonga. Yeah.
Right.
So
Actually,
on
my
the
brother's
border.
just moved there, so I might be able to catch up with you sometime.
Hopefully, there's no border closures again,
Oh.
so I don't have an hour commute to work. Otherwise, I'm moving back to Melbourne. Might as well just start driving from there again.
Ah. Which side of the border are you on? The New South or
I'm still in Victoria.
Wodonga.
Victoria all the
Wodonga.
way, man. Wodonga, yeah.
What about you, Rob? Where are you?
Bayswater, eastern suburbs of Melbourne.
All right, and Pete, I know you're Melbourne, aren't you?
No, I'm actually in Gippsland.
Oh, yeah?
I live in sort of in the Latrobe Valley, sort of under the power station.
Yeah, right. How long does it take you to get to Melbourne?
Oh, about 2 hours.
2? Oh, right. And Shane, you're a Queenslander.
1.5, 2
Yeah,
hours.
I'm up in North Brisbane.
Banana bender.
Yeah, pretty much.
What does that mean? You have bananas up there? What do you? Is it anyway? Maybe it's
Someone's got a
don't
bender.
go down
Where do you think the bend comes from? Where do you think the
Someone's
bend
got
comes
a
from?
bender, mate. Come on.
Don't come that way, man. You think they grow like that?
No, they grow straight. They got to get them banana. Queenslanders, the bender, mate.
Oh, okay.
Can you know?
So what's everyone working on after the calendar?
Yeah,
All
good
right.
question.
Well, I think a lot of people are working on stuff during the calendar, aren't they?
Well, that too, yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Who
Yeah,
wants
I'll
to
go
go first?
for Moose #2. For me, it's an anthology book with a high school friend, one of my sort of drawing mentors. We teamed up to do a book together where we take we kind of call it comic improv, where we chuck a bunch of random words at each other and then we pick one. And the first issue was Too Many Chooks, and we just write a story around that incorporates Too Many Chooks. So that came out a couple of months ago, or maybe 2 months ago. And then, Vamoose #2 hopefully comes out in about 2 months, and it'll be Not on My Watch is the subtitle. And so however the people in the issue interpret that is the correct way. And then it's on
theatre
to
sports from years ago.
Yeah, that's my
That's a
brother
great
does
idea, man.
improv, and it's all sort of, we need a word from the audience, that sort of thing. And it's very much in that sort of, we pick a word and we just go. And then it's funny because we actually have one of my brother's improv performing friends do a comic in there, and she kills it. So, like, she just has I do 8 pages in the first issue. Nick May does 7 pages, and then Millie Holton does 1 page. And I swear, in 1 page, she kills it and just is the star of the book. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what she comes up with for issue 2. So, yeah.
Awesome.
What about the eye, the private eye?
So that's not me. That's Hayden and Ben Sullivan. Hayden Spurrell's writing and Ben Sullivan's drawing. So
you just did the cover, did you?
Yeah, that's just a varied cover that was done for a print that came out with Torn 2. So I think it's going to be a variant on one of the issues coming up. I'm not totally sure.
I like that. That's nice.
Very cool, man. Very Shade the Changing Man.
Yeah. Well, that's all Pete's design. Pete Lawson just here.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Very cool.
So there she is.
Oh, there it is there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's
When
on
is-
Nice, man. Wicked.
Very good.
Yeah, he was another one of Gary Dallas' all ideas, and another one that George threw at me in the script to come up with. Try to work out how to draw a guy with no eyes and make him not the
That's
same
why I
as-
wanted to have a go at it, because it just seems so. I always start with the eyes when I'm drawing, and so when you take the eyes out, where the hell do I start? So I don't know. I just like the idea of
like that much of the face on it.
ever since I got all my drawing. I learned how to draw from The Simpsons. That's why all my characters have big eyes, and so I would always start with the eyes. And then so straight away when I saw Mr. I Have No Eyes, I was like, all right, let's do it. Let's start with a chin.
I always keep the eyes crooked anyway, and when I'm inking them, and I have to fix it up.
Yeah.
first thing I'll always get wrong. I'll always draw something now, and I'll start doing the black lines on it, 2 or 3 days later, and the first thing goes, well, that's stuffed. Your eyes are just like,
yeah.
Yeah, you got to try and keep that perspective. You wouldn't think there's perspective when when you do a face at three-quarter, if you apply perspective, sometimes you've got to apply that perspective, otherwise it looks that eye's too big or something like that. It's out of whack.
One thing I love about working digitally is being able to flip the canvas super easily and go, holy shit, that looks nothing like it should.
Yeah, when I drew traditionally, I used to have a thing above my desk that I wrote that just said, never make a decision in ink that you didn't make in pencil first. Because I would go, no, that looks weird, and I would just ink it how I thought it would be, and then I go, oh, God, no!
Look at it. And it's inked. Yeah, you got to get white out or whatever.
Yeah.
All right. Who were you, Tony? Who was the next one? What are you doing on your...
Mate, I'm still tinkering away with Fallen, but the next cab off the rank for me is an art book. I'm going to dip my toe into Kickstarter, and I figured prior to doing Fallen, I'll collect all the work I've done over the last few years into an art book and see if I can find a more of an audience before I go into the story side of things. Yeah.
Nice.
So gathering artwork and figuring out how the hell I'm going to group it together.
Right. Okay. Is it all most of your theme? Is it all one sort of theme, similar to your?
No, I'm an all-purpose nerd, so it's all over the shop. It's I'm a big fan of Batman '66. So there's a vast quantity of that sort of stuff, and then there's traditional superheroes, and there's horror, and there's sci-fi and movie stuff, and then my own sort of characters and takes on that. So I'm gathering all that together, and I'm just trying to figure out whether it's best to go from, when I first restarted 4 years ago and go from that point to current, or to group it into sort of loose sort of genres. So at the moment, I'm thinking loose genres will be an easier and probably more palatable way to present it. Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. Group it in chapters. You'll group it into chapters, you reckon?
Yeah, exactly. It'll be, loosely sort of grouped in, like I said, it'll be, superheroes and horror and fantasy and creator owned and, Aussie comic, the bits and pieces I've done for other Aussie comics over the last few years as well. So loosely grouped into those sort of categories, I think. That's what I'm leaning towards at the moment anyway.
Yeah. What about you, Kieran?
Once I finish the apparition, I am going to dive into some writing. I've got a side story for In Purgatory that I've got a mate in the UK that's illustrating. So we're doing that.
Cool.
So it's based on one of the characters, like we'll talk about before, having a character that people enjoy and kind of giving them their own story. So it's a little one-shot story we've got written. So I'm going to go and write that. I've got 2 other projects that I've been offered to work on, so I'm writing those at the moment. Hopefully they'll get approved, and possibly we'll be illustrating one of those, just a short story. And then obviously doing Talking Bread, colouring all that, which is a nightmare. And
good luck, mate.
Not enjoying it. And then jumping back into the apparition and getting that next one ready for its release early next year, and then back into
cool.
Doesn't stop.
How many pages will that
it's pure love.
Yeah. With the apparition, when you get it all together,
apparition.
How many pages? Yeah. What will that? How many pages do you reckon that'll be?
It's going to be 120 pages.
Ooh, good size.
Big one.
Sit nicely on the shelf.
It's 2 volumes. So the first volume comes out this year, which is 60 pages, then again early next year when I launch volume 2, that'll be 60 pages as well. And basically how I've designed it is that it's they're like 12-page stories, and each volume has 4 of those or 5 of those in there. give or take, depending on the page count, might be a few more. Which is different. It's different to what I've normally done. It's taken a lot of influence from the golden age of comic books, and that's the idea of it. Absolute joy to kind of change it up a little bit from what I normally do. I guess that's the thing. You just got to keep challenging yourself.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's what I find when I've got other people. If I'm illustrating a story that I've written, it's pretty easy because it's not easy, but I don't challenge myself as much. But if I'm doing something that someone else has written, and they might give me eagles with dragons and whatever Peter's getting, tossed at him. If I've got to draw that, I'll probably say, that's out of sight behind the rock or something. That's if it's in my story.
Yeah,
pull the Liefeld and hide the feet.
That's right.
Just make sure you got all those extra pockets and satchels on there as well. Right? Just make sure
multi-barreled rifles and stuff. Yeah.
So that's basically it's the next 2 years covered at the moment.
Wow.
I'm doing it.
Yeah, you're going to be busy, and you've got a podcast going too.
Yeah. So the Halftone Effect's basically how it spawned. The idea of making my own comics. So started doing that back in 2014, and still going. It's just we don't do as many episodes now because obviously the comics have kind of taken over, and that's where they make the money. So we still do that, and we're doing another season this year. I'm just getting guests on board. So if anyone here wants to be a guest,
I'll do it.
Why not? It's a
great
listen, man. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
thanks,
good.
Tony, yeah.
I've just found it this last couple of days, and I've been listening listening to it, and I love it. I just love it.
It's a great way of kind of promoting everyone else out there as well. Like what Shane's doing right now, it's just the idea of just talking and getting a bit of insight into how everyone got started and any tips and tricks they can offer. And give back to them a little bit, and in doing so, it kind of helped me pull my finger out and start making comics. Yeah.
To hear everyone, all the different people that you've spoken to hear because they're the same. They're Aussies. They're going through the same thing. We're going through the same thing. We've all got. I can relate to your podcast. I can relate to everything that's going on in there. But if there's something, an American podcast or something, there's a few things I'll get in, but, yours is Australians talking about the Australian experience. And I can totally 100% relate to everyone that I've heard that you've spoken to. Yeah. So I'm really enjoying them.
I enjoy making them as well. It's just a shame I can't do as many as what I used to. So that's why we just keep it to a limit now, and I just release them whenever I get a chance to. But it's cool, and I love making them. They're so much fun. Again, I hate editing them. That's a pain in the ass when you have to listen to your own voice for 40 to 50 minutes.
Mate, ship that off to Fiverr. Someone else will do it. That's fine.
I try not to listen to these afterwards.
Yes. Don't want to hear yourself.
No.
Yeah. No, I actually hate my sound of my own voice.
Yeah. I think everyone has that problem, Kieran, don't worry. Shane.
I hate the sound of my own face. So.
Come on, man, you're the body. Come on.
You're the body, yes.
The body, not the face, not the face.
So actually, it's funny though, because like during COVID, we've been doing a lot more live streaming on our YouTube channel, and I've actually found that more. It's been more fun to do that with more of a face connection to the audience as well, and they can jump on and talk to us whilst we're recording. So, I'm not saying it'll happen, but I would like to try and do that possibly this year if we get a chance to. It's just a matter of finding the time and capacity to do it with everyone that comes on, because you've got to try and work in with their lifestyle and their calendar. So we'll see what happens, but it's hopefully it'll evolve and be able to give back to everyone else that's
You got a YouTube channel?
Yeah, we've got a YouTube channel. We've launched it last year at the start of COVID to do more live streams with our releases and talk to people. And it's slowly been getting going. We had Brendan from D's host one evening, which was great with me and Camillo. We did that and we talked, and Camillo actually inked the variant cover for In Purgatory whilst we were doing the live stream, so that was really cool.
Nice.
Yeah, so little things like that, just trying to push the boundaries and get a bit more notice.
Yeah,
amongst the community.
Camillo's had a good year. He got his
oh man,
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cover and stuff.
He's absolutely killing it, yeah. And I'm very fortunate to have him on for a couple of the projects that I've been working on before he kind of gets any bigger.
Look out. Yeah. Make the most of it while you can.
Yeah, because he did an apparition cover for Drop Bear Comics, and he said he's flat out at the moment, and he had to push it back a little bit because he was doing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Valentine's Day posts. They asked him to do one, and he pushed it back, and he's like, "I'm so sorry." I was like, "Dude, you're doing turtles. It doesn't matter. My stuff's minuscule to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles." So it's kind of funny. I've kind of grabbed him before he's exploding on the scene. So
make the most of it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Bloody turtles are hard to draw too.
They are. I agree with you there, Peter.
I've only tried them a couple of times, and I'm not going there. They're horrible.
Couldn't agree more.
Careful, George might want a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle in the next issue.
Any ideas? Yeah.
George is listening. George is out there, mate.
Good ideas. That one.
And Isaac George. Yeah, Isaac George was say good day as well.
Yes, I think he was saying he was down for an interview, Kieran. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll pencil you in, Isaac, and we'll try and organise a date.
And what about you, Pete? You've got you've spoken. You've got torn and
as I said before. I got the finished. What about 1 and a bit? Was it 2 and a bit issues of Torn? I've got the 1/1 cover for Isaac. The
You're safe.
Good, yes.
No turtles.
And, on the Rick McClure stuff when that comes up, when Hayden finishes writing that. I'm doing a couple of promo things shortly for the Southern Squadron. And that's just kept me busy for a while.
Sounds like it is keeping you busy, mate. Yeah, good.
Too busy. I wish I had more time. Yeah, well. You have to actually earn a living as well.
Yeah, the pesky life keeps getting in the way.
Yeah.
Trying to make these funny books, and kids need to be put in bed, and bills need to be paid.
Stupid bills.
Stupid kids.
People have this dumb idea that they want to watch news every night, so I'm going to go out and do
it. Keeps the roof over your head, mate, and bread on the table. Are you retired, are you, Tony, or are you still working too?
No, I did time in commercial radio and telly, and now I work for myself in this little office doing voiceovers, and I'm a freelance video producer as well. So a bit of side money there as well.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
You've got an educated voice, mate. You know, you've got the...
I don't know where the hell I found that.
You've got that, yeah. So I can see that for sure. Yeah, you'd be the man.
Oh, it's all an act.
Well,
so
what are we doing?
So, we've heard everything from everyone, what they're all up to, so that's pretty cool. I guess we've gone through our images that you've added to the calendar, so thanks for that. We're coming up to the 2-hour mark, so yeah.
So, we're only another hour and a half to go. Let's keep going, guys.
Around the horn.
Now remember, donate to the kids. Call.
So you got another interview with the comic raidery coming up on the weekend, Shane?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good test of my memory. I believe Peter's in that, and Tony.
Guilty.
Yeah.
And
Peter, Tony.
Isaac. Sorry, Isaac.
Oh, yeah, Isaac, yeah.
And was
And
it
Lauren.
And
round two
Lawrence.
for Lauren?
Yeah, and Lawrence doing number 2.
So she just wants to get ahead on camera again. She loves it.
So yeah, that's on Saturday morning our time. That's Friday evening for them.
Saturday morning, what time? 9 o'clock again? Or
9 Eastern. Yeah, Eastern Standard Time, 9 o'clock. Yeah,
9 a.m. Yep.
and that goes for 2 hours, half an hour each person.
So I'll do that. Then I'll jump in the car and head over to Bayswater and
Yes.
see you there.
Yeah, for the Minicon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alternate Worlds are having a little local creator convention thingy. So, yeah.
That's pretty cool. I saw that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's a few on. There's a few on this weekend, I think. There's some.
Well,
there's,
I think the Gold Coast is this weekend.
Yeah, Gold Coast
Supernova.
is this weekend.
Oh,
But
okay.
I've heard they've only got 10 artist tables at the show.
Holy
oh,
no way.
what?
Yeah, which is a little bit.
10.
So, yeah.
I suppose that's people are just a bit dubious about, I suppose, outlaying for a table and,
Yeah.
no one turning
We
up.
wouldn't be able to have as many anyway because of numbers that they would be allowed to have.
Yeah, there's a limit. I believe there's a limited number that they can have in the wherever they're having it.
Yeah, I heard that's how it's going to be for Melbourne. Melbourne's in May, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which is, yeah.
Are you going? Who's going? Who's going to have a table there? Anyone here?
I'll be there with.
Sweet.
Yeah, I'll be there with
Reggie?
Reverie. Yeah.
All right, with Gary, yeah.
Yeah.
Kieran, are you getting a table?
Yeah, I've booked I've only booked a table for this one. It's the first time we've done that because I'm just not 100% sure on whether it's going to go ahead or.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah, I
the
know.
uncertainty of it. It's just an uncertain thing for at least another year. I'm booked in to do Canberra Geek Market.
Oh, yeah.
I've been asked to do that one, and I'm booked in for that. But again, it's just the fear of not knowing what's going to happen. So. Yeah, it's kind of strange because most of the people that did Oz Comic Con pop-up show said they did really well, and that was with crowds. I think it was like 3,000 at a time were allowed through
Right.
for like a 3-hour window, and then they were allowed to leave, and then another 3,000 came through. So
Yeah.
Oh okay.
yeah, I think people are starved for it, but also it's kind of that again. It's the fear of the unknown. Whether it's all it takes is one person to kind of go to it and have it. And it sparks fire. So yeah, we'll wait and see. I'm trying to be optimistic about it, but yeah. Again, wait.
Maybe Shane, that's your next thing after the calendar. What about a virtual convention, a kitchen convention?
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Notice the
Flyaways
tone.
electronically.
Notice the tone.
After chasing all of us around for artwork, oh no!
Yeah.
I think
I don't
they
know. I'll
tried
have
to
to look
run,
into that one. It sounds like a bit of a challenge.
Yeah.
someone
my
ran
next-
a virtual in Sydney, I think. From Sydney, they ran a virtual Comic Con, didn't they? Last year.
I know a bunch of UK bods did it recently, and they had reasonably good success at it, from what I gather. Yeah,
Didn't they? Right.
yeah.
I remember
must
seeing
have-
ads for the Australian one, but I can't remember what they were called. Sorry to say, but I
think
remember
the
seeing
Sydney
ads for it.
Yeah, I was a part of it, and
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I
was a part of it. And I can't remember the name of it. It was good. It did all right. It did, like, we had our own virtual stores as well. It was a great event. It was good to talk. I thought I was on with Tim McNewen and Quinny Chen, and we both. I think it was a group of 5 of us that did the chat, and it was really good. We just did a panel about creating comics, and that was fun. But I didn't really see any sales from the store, the virtual store. So I don't know. I don't know if anyone else did. But it's kind of the risk you take with these things, I guess.
Yeah, I think I would have. I put my hand up, but I didn't know it was on until it was on. So, and I had a look at the program, and I think I tuned into a couple of the talks and stuff. But they sort of said, because I was speaking to whoever was, I can't remember who it was now, who was doing the organising, and they said, oh, well, if it's successful, we may run another one next year. But hopefully we don't have to worry, because it's much better to have a table and actually have people in front of you that you can talk to and feel their hot breath on you. On your face and all that sort of
on your what? On your what?
Let's get PG rated. Come on. But you gotta. Yeah, I can wholeheartedly agree with you there. It's so much more. It's a lot better being in person and being able to talk to people and actually pitch your comic to them. And I kind of thought at the start of the pandemic, I was kind of like, this is fine, I'm going to be able to pump out more comics. But it's also, you do miss that connection, that interaction with the readers and just people who are just looking for something to do, and that it does suck to not be at conventions. So, like, I'm really hopeful that we get to do them.
Sorry.
How old's your little one, Kieran?
She's 2.5, so still a young'un.
Yeah, so it's hard to find time to do these things at the best of times.
Yeah. Oh, look, I've got a pretty supportive partner. She's been really great in getting all this and helping me move forward with it. So, I'm able to juggle now the comic business and having a day job as well. So my day job, I work 3 to 4 days a week, and then I get to do my comic stuff for 2 of those days. So. It's kind of been a juggling act, and it's gradually getting better and better. That to the point I'm hoping that I can just, do it as a full-time career.
Yeah, I have 4.5-year-old twins, so most of my comic making is done at a play center. pay to go to a play center, and then they go off, and I know they're within walls and the slides, and then I just sit at a table and put headphones in and just pretend I'm somewhere else.
They give you some crayons, do they, mate?
Yeah, I do get a lot of looks while other parents are doing the important work on their laptops, and I'm just drawing silly toilets.
That's a good one, mate. All right.
Cool. So,
how long?
Oh no, you Dave.
Yeah, I was going to ask you how long we're going for. Yeah.
I was thinking 2 hours might be a good amount of time, so we're coming up close to that.
I thought we were doing the countdown to midnight.
Unless we're doing that countdown.
Sorry, I'm breaking up.
Oh, this has been really a lot of fun, though, Shane, so we should do it more regularly, yeah?
I agree. I've got this software, so I might as well use it.
Yeah. So you've got it for the month, yeah?
I've got it for at least a month. I'm thinking about continuing after that because it just seems to be very useful to do things like this. And it's I don't want to stop just at the calendar to support everyone. So I want to continue it on. And I think these videos like this is a great way to continue doing that.
Absolutely. Speaking as an old bearded man stuck on an island at the arse end of Australia, it's great to talk to other like-minded people. Yeah.
A beautiful arsehole.
Thank you, mate. Checks in the mail. Yeah.
Hey, I'm the only person of the group. Thank you.
Yeah.
I've been to Tasmania. I know it's beautiful down there.
All parts are, yeah.
I'm getting too many
really,
double entendres there.
No, it'd be really good to do. I mean, not just us, everyone. It'd be nice to a semi-regular sort of catch up. Yeah,
it'd be good. I definitely would like to do something like that as well. So make good use of this software. So
yeah, and Dave, I want to do a Rick McClune with you. I've got a bunch of Rick McClune scripts in with different artists attached, but I want to do one with you. Your art's crazy, so I don't know what your schedule's like. Yeah, you. I want to do Rick McClune with you.
Yeah,
I don't know
okay.
what your Rick schedule's like after this, Rick, but I love the world of Rick McClune, and anytime I get to visit.
You do, good. Yeah. Well, James Broadhurst's written the script I'm working on at the moment, and it's an absolute ripper. I just love it. As soon as I read it, I said, "Oh, mate," I said, "Gary, I've got to do this one. This is it, mate." And it's a great story. I love it.
Cool.
Good stuff.
I'm just right into this. So, I'm happy to, mate, for sure.
Yeah, wicked.
Nice. Reverie are pumping out some titles, aren't they?
Yeah, Reverie.
A lot of content coming,
Yeah, right into it. Good on to him.
Yeah.
He said to me a couple of times, he said to me, my first issue of Amazing Tales, because it's in black and white, he said, "Look, Dave, you colour it, and I'll print it under Reverie banner." And
mate, awesome.
Awesome.
I'm like Kieran, colouring. I haven't got around to colouring.
Oh, there's other ways, mate. You spend a little bit of coin. I know Darren Close with the Killaroo sends his stuff off to Bees Studios for colouring nowadays, and they do an amazing job. So you could
awesome.
Take that route.
Yeah. Okay, well, it's something to think about, and I suppose, but I'm a bit of a tight, you know what. And,
so you censor it this time.
I'm a slow learner, but I've learned. Anyway, Gary's always looking for something to put it print and publish. He's a great, he really is on the ball.
Yeah, it's nice. There's a few old buds here. It's just nice seeing the Australian indie, comic circuit come back again. Because back, like Pete, and yourself, Dave, back in the old days with Southern Squadron and Bug and Stump, and there were heaps of independent Aussie titles. And then for a long period there was nothing. And now it all seems to be bubbling back.
Yeah. I just wish, because where I live up here in Mildura in the Mallee, that we haven't got a comic shop. Even the newsagent, what's a newsagent carry now? That you get the Phantom.
Yep.
No, we're not mentioning it.
Is it? Okay. And anyway, so there's nothing to choose from. So
see the sirens outside Kieran's window. If we
what's your address again? It's longer, wasn't it?
Oh, no. I think you were breaking up there, mate. It was
what were we talking about? There's nothing up here.
Yeah, News 8.
Broken Hill's the closest. Broken Hill's 2.5 hours up the road from me. That's how far out I am. Yeah. Closest Adelaide's 4.5 hours. Melbourne's 6 hours. I'm a Victorian, so Melbourne's me capital city where I go to.
Yep.
But I'm going to Adelaide on the 26th. They've got an Adelaide Toy and Comic Fair, and I've got a table there. So,
nice.
So it'll be 1 day show. Hopefully we can sell. Last time I went there, it was a really good show, and sold quite a bit of stock. It was pretty successful. So I'm looking. Hopefully it'll be another one this time.
Awesome, mate. Good luck.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'll let you know how it goes.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the next one will be Supernova. I've booked in for Melbourne got a table. I think I've paid for it, so I better get on and do that before it's too late. So, yeah, but yeah, it's a gamble, but it's good. Hopefully, get to see a few people. Hopefully, local people in Melbourne. Peter and Kieran, you might be able to get there, and Rob, catch up.
Yeah.
Say good day.
Shane, can you share the thing that I just? You see, I'm sharing the screen.
Oh yes.
Can you see that? Dave, I heard you're in Melbourne, so if you're not busy, come on down to this thing on Saturday. There's going to be a bunch of us there.
Yeah, I won't be able to, mate. It's 6 hours from down to there.
Oh, golly. All right, we'll put a screen on one of the tables and you can just do a video chat to everybody.
Thanks, mate.
Don't go 6 hours. I feel guilty when not many people come and then you drive 6 hours for it.
Right down.
But yeah, this will be fun. So if anyone's in the area, if anyone's still watching after 2 hours of us rambling, this weekend at Alternate Worlds, a bunch of us hanging out. Sorry, but that's not what we're here for, so I'll stop sharing that.
No,
that's fine. That's fine. It's
Fine.
for the Kickstarter. It's for everyone. It's not just the calendar.
Yeah.
The calendar's the catalyst. That's all.
Do they have
2 hours?
You have a convention in Albury, Kieran, in Wodonga? They have one.
We did for 3 years, and then it kind of folded in. So it was run by the Albury Council. Right, it was run by the Albury Council and Rotary Club. So unfortunately, it folded after 3 years.
Right.
Look,
Okay.
they do Upstream, which is a.
Oh.
Speaking of Upstream,
which is a what? Which is a what?
He's the master of suspense.
Stay tuned next week for the answer as to what it actually was.
Oh, here we go. Part
He's
2.
going to come back. You're going to be pissed off, mate. We didn't hear any of that.
Don't hate that.
Yes.
I was breaking up.
Again.
So it was a great event. We did really well, but unfortunately, it just doesn't happen anymore. So the closest one we have to here is Shepparton have one, which is called Nerd Mania, and that's a really good event. So I really do enjoy the rural ones because you can really get in there and have a lot of fun with the crowd and talk about, because I guess with a lot of rural communities they don't really get exposure to the comic scene, and they might get the movies and a certain comic book at the newsagents, but that's all they really get. So I know obviously digital age with Comixology and being able to buy comics online, but they really don't get to see it a lot. So when you go there to a smaller show in a rural community, they really do appreciate it, which is really rewarding.
Yeah.
Cool.
I go to Bendigo. I've been the last 2 years. They didn't have one last year, but the 2 previous years I went to Bendigo, and it's similar. It's quite good there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they're good. They're good shows.
Me and a couple of other guys who were trying to get one off the ground down this way.
Oh,
and we had lots and lots of people interested until it actually came time to we'd like people to actually help. And it was just like 2 of us to organise the whole thing. So it was like, no, this ain't happening.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot of work. Yeah.
No, everyone, they're all willing to help out if it meant they, help out on the day, which is more like getting for nothing. And they actually organise it and to run it, no. So we just canned it. It's a shame because there's nothing.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like we try and help out as where we can, but yeah, it's a big risk. Planning a small event like that with just 2 people rather than actual, whether it's an association or it's a a business that are behind it, like your likes of Reed Pop or Supernova, for that matter. But I mean, there is an audience for it in rural communities. It's just a matter of someone taking that leap of faith and kind of pushing them out there to do it. And I think Australia's got that. It's got the opportunity to do that, and I think what Supernova have done with these two shows that are coming up and kind of incorporating the larger Australian community in film and TV and in comic books as well. It's smart. It makes a lot of sense. Bluey is one of the biggest phenomenons in Australia TV history at the moment, and so it is around the world. It makes sense to have those writers and those creators and voice actors come to Supernova. It's going to draw families to the event. So I take my hat off to them for kind of thinking like that, because it's something that's probably need to be done for a while now. Put the focus back on Australia. We have talent here. Let's shine the light on them.
Agreed.
Basically,
fingers
what
crossed
Shane's
that
doing
it
with
continues.
this.
Yeah, exactly. So fingers crossed that it continues to grow like this. I think the pandemic for Australians, we've been very lucky, and it's kind of a blessing in disguise for our indie creators and also the Australian audiences.
Yep, that's right. Blessing. Yeah,
Well, I'm going to
COVID's
roll,
sort of-
guys. I'm going to
Alright.
go
Yep, cool.
pretend I still have a partner and see if she's fallen asleep yet, and we can watch a show before bed.
Yes,
That's the inner workings of my life. I'll just put that on.
I echo that.
Now, I've got to show Dave something here before I sign off.
Oh,
Yeah.
Just try not to allow. There's your tile. Did that work or not? I can't tell. No?
No, there's nothing coming up yet.
no.
You've got to jump through a few hurdles to.
Here we go.
So, is that working now?
Hey,
Right. Yeah. Right, yes. I have seen that. Yes, good, mate. Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, so I'm in the
That's
throes
right.
of just sort of fixing up my skewy eyes and in the throes of inking that up at the moment.
You're inking that?
Very nice.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's about halfway through.
Right.
The vortex.
Yes, good one. Yeah,
Cool.
excellent, mate. That would be the front cover of the next issue. Is that right?
I don't know. Gary just asked me to ink it up. So,
okay. Oh, well, he might have a couple of variants, as he tends to do.
Yeah.
Yep.
He
I've got
likes his
a
variants.
couple of other covers on the trots right now. So, yeah.
No, that's excellent, mate. Looking forward to reading the next one.
Oh, yeah. It'll be fun. Anyway, guys, I'm going to tune out so that hopefully we can go to bed soon.
Yep,
Me
that's
too.
cool.
Good on you, George.
All right, sailors. Nice to see you.
See you guys. Thank you.
All right.
See you, Rob.
See you
See you,
guys.
Peter.
It's been a pleasure.
Nice to meet you, all.
And for
Yeah.
some reason... Oh, there we go. Oh,
you
Karen went
go.
as well. He took his
I better
cue
bail
and
as
just
well, guys.
went. Yep, cool.
See
See
you,
you,
Tony.
Tony.
Thanks again,
Thank you
Chats.
for
I'll see
joining
you,
us.
see you on the next
Great
one.
to
Yeah.
have a chat. Yeah, see you on the next one.
Indeed. All right, take
Yeah.
care. Good night.
Take it easy, mate. Cheerio. See you, Shane.
Yep, see you, Dave. It was nice
Look
to have you.
after-
Now, yep,
Yeah. Look after yourself, won't you?
yep, you too.
How's your ribs?
Oh, the ribs are getting better.
Good.
Yeah,
All right,
not so much
cheerio.
pain anymore. Cheerio. See ya.
Oh, that's good. See you later.
See ya. Okay, thanks everyone for joining us on this one. That was a great little chat between some of the artists on the calendar. And so the core reason for this was the calendar, of course, the calendar Kickstarter, which you can go over to comx.link. That's no I in ComX. It's just comx.link. And that'll take you to the Kickstarter. You can go over there and check out the artwork by, as you've probably seen on this video, if you're watching all of it. If not, you'll see the artwork from each artist. And what you'll be getting on the calendar, the 18-month calendar, 18 pieces of art. They're all original pieces. And yeah, it's a great way to support local talent here in Australia. So check it out, pledge some money, get a calendar. And we're also doing postcards for those who don't want the expense of the calendar. That's okay. The postcards have the same art, just a lot smaller. So yeah, just get yourself some of this art because it's great art. They've done a great job. We've had a lot of fun making this calendar, so we want you to have a lot of fun enjoying it. So I will say good night, and thank you for joining us. Have a good week.